Modular architecture or modularity in design is a design approach that subdivides a system into smaller parts called modules or scales that can be independently created and then used in different systems. A modular system is characterized by functional partitioning into discrete, scalable, and reusable modules. Rigorous use of well-defined modular interfaces and making use of industry standards for interfaces. The benefits of modular design are flexible in design and reduction in cost. Examples of modular system are modular buildings, solar panels, wind turbines, and so on. The modular design combines the advantages of standardization with those of customization. A downside to modularity is that low-quality modular systems are not optimized for performance. The origin of modular design. Historically, in classical architecture, the diameter of column was used as the basis for number of Japanese architecture. Room sizes were determined by combination of rice mats, which were 90 by 180 centimeters. Matila Gica's work on the golden section was one of the source of the modular, but his work in general was used by other architects like André Lorcat. Lorcat proposed his own range of proportion related to the work of builders as much as to that of design. Proportion and module thus become central issue in the post-war French reconstruction as architects struggled to maintain their status amid changing procedures in building production. The challenge of modularity. Modularity means using the same module in multiple configurations, enabling large variety of design without using any component types. This modularity brings several advantages such as reduced capital requirements and economy. Modularity is especially advantageous when the scale and scope of the project are relatively large. In such case, it is practical and economic option. Through modularity, you can achieve various design while achieving low-cost development, as well as cost saving in design and construction. Thus, you find that modularity is pushing out the productivity frontier in design creation. On the contrary, modularity may lead to excess costs due to over-design. Inefficient performance and too many common modules may result in loss of design identity. What is dwelling unit? Dwelling unit means any room or group of rooms located within a structure and forming a single habitable unit with facilities which are used or are intended to be used for living, sleeping, cooking, and eating. A multiple dwelling is a dwelling which is either rented, leased, let or hired out, occupied, or is occupied as the residence or home of three or more families living. Independently of each other, a class multiple dwelling is a multiple dwelling that is occupied for permanent residence purposes occupancy of a dwelling unit by the same natural person or family for 30 consecutive days or more.
If you look around in our cities today, you will really find a structure that designed to serve a single purpose. What is a mixed-use structure? A mixed-use building aims to combine 3 or more uses into one structure, such as residential, hotel, retail, parking, transportation, cultural, and entertainment. Many buildings today make the most out of space by serving 2 or more functions, whether large or small. Sample of these are apartments with sari-sari stores on ground floor and high-rise towers with office beneath the studio unit. However, are created equal. While many make use of space efficiently, only a few manage to benefit both of their residents and surrounding communities. This feature separates outstanding design from the rest as they help to make the city a thriving and sustainable place to live in.
What is morphology? Morphology is an attempting to fit a systematic approach to forming shapes, colors, textures, patterns. In physical geography, the study of the form of lands. I would like to add additional information regarding mixed-use building here in the Philippines. According to our National Building Code of the Philippines, in Republic Act No. 6541, Title 3, Requirements Based on Occupancy, Chapter 3.01, Classification of all buildings by use or occupancy and general requirements for all occupancies. Section 3.01.03, the term Mixed occupancy or use refers to a building used for more than one purpose. The term mixed use can refer to a vertical mixed-use design where one scraped floor has a retail store or office on the street floor, a residential apartment on the upper floors, and a basement in the parking lot. It can also be used to refer to horizontal mixed-use development where multiple buildings in a block or area or around an open space or courtyard meet one or two uses while creating a microzone in the neighborhood. Mixed use in today's real estate refers to mixed use of buildings, complexes, or districts. It is all devised, planned, and integrated, some or all apartments, single-family homes, commerce, institutions, industry, to create a vibrant, functional, livable, and attractive area. It refers to development involving mixtures for other uses.
The essentials. According to the blog placemakers.com, mixed-use development are three-dimensional pedestrian-oriented places that layer compatible land uses, public amenities, and utilities together. They can be vertical, horizontal, or mixed-use walkable areas. These varying developments, however, share common ideals. Mixed-use projects should provide three or more revenue-generating functions. As per the Urban Land Institute, to maximize precious land, a mixed-use development should not only provide a place to sleep and shop for residents. Well-planned communities offer varied spaces such as office, retail, residential, and recreational facilities. This allows inhabitants to have minimal travel time in between activities, saving on travel costs and energy. Mixed-use development should also feature uses that go well with each other. For example, it will be difficult to live in a building that has a bar with a constant loud music at night. You wouldn't be able to get a decent sleep. An ideal place to live in a building that serves you your needs and interests, such as a grocery store, a hardware store, fitness gym, or a cinema beneath it. This function shouldn't compete for parking spaces. And other resources. Instead, spaces in a mixed-use building should complement each other in terms of function and demand. The benefits. Beyond serving as a place to live or work, a mixed-use development should encourage you to grow and thrive and bring benefits in terms of well-being. Many vertical structures can cause sick building syndrome, which make people feel unwell with no apparent cause. This results from lack of ventilation, shade, and other features may lead to problems in terms of health and comfort. It thus pays you to choose one of these green and sustainable futures. While amenities like rooftop garden, solar panels, and occupancy sensor may seem like a luxury, these keep maintenance costs at a minimum and make the building a more comfortable place to live in. With sustainable design considered in the structure, you may achieve savings in terms of energy and efficiency. The ideal condominium should feature spaces that allow you to live comfortably with others. It has to offer your privacy yet provide areas where you entertain visitors, meet neighbors, and make a new friend. It should also help you carry out daily tasks by featuring convenient shops like laundromat and a daycare center, or even co-working spaces. Overall, a mixed-use development that is conducive to the health and interests of the intended user is the best property to live in. Mixed-use developments are everywhere, but only few can help you and your community thrive. If you're searching for one that can cater to your lifestyle and serve your needs, do your research. Check out if the project is located strategically, offers complementary uses, and brings benefits to your health and well-being. Buildings like this maximize the mixed-use concept and ensure that you can live the best life the city has to offer.
Pros of mixed-use buildings: live, work, play dynamics. Mixed-use development helps to alleviate this dynamic by allowing employees to live, work, and play in close proximity. The more time you spend in your automobile commuting, the less time you have to enjoy the fruits of your labor. Next is uses will evolve thanks to builders and property owners who are coming up with more new ways to utilize the facilities. Thus is reduce long-term maintenance costs are another advantage because of the proximity of uses, including many which are stacked vertically. Cons of mixed-use buildings. Shared parking. The actual issue for most mixed-use tenants is this. Consider renting in a mixed-use complex that includes office space, general retail space, restaurants, and a movie theater. Many of these people will be forced to park in the same parking garage unless the developer has been exceedingly generous with parking. As a tenant, I strongly advise you to look into the specifics of the parking situation. Noise. Noise transfer from commercial to residential areas appears to be a convenience trade-off. It might be particularly troublesome if a residential apartment is next to a restaurant or a nightclub. Cooking odor, cigarette smoke, and visible trash from the commercial component of the development are all irritants. However, just like any other problem, these issues have remedies. Thus, is difficult to manage. On a practical level, mixed-use projects are more difficult. Financiers have to evaluate each use separately. Zoning and building approvals can get exponentially harder. And from a design perspective, there are a lot more details you have to get right. The developer may have to simultaneously market office, hotel, retail, and residential space.
Over the past years, the way people live in urban areas has changed substantially due to consumer demand and the promise of convenience. More and more families and individuals are now willing to uproot from the city to seek more spacious, if more distant, places to live in, an aspiration that is fast influencing the real estate sector. When it comes to investment properties, it seems that urban state living is becoming more popular among the prospective homeowners and business people. The beauty of mixed-use development. Mixed-use developments embody an idealized lifestyle that provides residents with the network of high-end infrastructure and amenities. Typically, property developers acquire large pieces of land to consolidate a well-planned mixed-use development as a community with all amenities associated with a modern urban setting for working, living, studying, and playing. To meet growing demands for this lifestyle, local property developers have been gradually expanding their portfolios in mixed-use development around the country. Potential metropolitan areas. Iloilo Business Park by MegaWorld is 72-hectare integrated urban township located in the busy area of Mandurriao. It is the newest commercial business district that combines business, tourism, commercial, and residential aspect in its future, which are necessary for a modern workplace to thrive in 21st century. Strategically located in the heart of Iloilo City, the business park has established a reputation for being educational hub while also producing well-trained employees. The Iloilo Business Park has been recognized as the best township development for Asia at the Asian Property Awards in 2018 and the best township development in the Philippines at the Philippines Property Award that same year. Rockwell, Makati. In 1995, Rockwell Land began developing a 15.5-hectare plot of land in Makati, which resulted in the construction of several residential buildings including Hidalgo Place, Rizal Tower, Amorsolo Square, and Luna Gardens. The master plan included the rehabilitation of unused thermal power plant into a luxury mall as an anchor to a thriving self-sustained community. This early take on upscale urban town square evolved into a community unlike any other and quickly became an investor paradise as a home accessible to the prime conveniences of the city. Through this development, Rockwell Land, a part of Lopez Group of companies, proved its commitment to raising the bar for living spaces. Through communities that seamlessly integrate homes, of office space, and leisure, convenience is combined as well with the Rockwell Land hallmarks of creativity, exclusivity, and unsurpassed quality in mind. Residents come from all over the world to live and enjoy the luxurious Rockwell lifestyle. Avida by Ayala Land. Ayala Land has been invested in prospective growth, enabling people to live in quiet but dynamic neighbors where raising a family is a community endeavor. The group has made its mark in Central Visayas with the Cebu Park District, which celebrates the Cebuano character and the city continued expansion as a key trade hub. The Cebu Park District combines the best that Cebu IT Park and Ayala Land Cebu Business Park can offer, transforming the venture into vibrant business and leisure destination. The Cebu Park District's modern contemporary residential projects under the Avida brand was inspired by Ayala Land master plan communities in Metro Manila. It's set to become the country's finest residential and corporate destination, giving Cebuano the best in multicultural living and business opportunities. Capitol Commons. Capitol Commons, a 10-hectare mixed-use development located in Ortigas Center, Pasig City, targets young and upwardly mobile professionals. It comprises of smart living residence, office space, and commercial zones with upscale shopping and entertainment alternatives. Tip to become Pasig City next hotspot. Capitol Commons hosts a range of activities for families, youth, and guests who value diverse urban environment. The Capitol Commons, many elements have fostered the growth of a vibrant new community and pave the way for the next generation to plan, visualize, and reinvent their future.
Grand Hyatt Metro Center, also known as Federal Land Tower Grand Hyatt Hotel Landmark 66, is a mixed-use building that functions as hotel and office. The height of this building is 258.5 meters or 848 feet with 57 floors located in Taguig. Shangri-La the Fort, Manila. Shangri-La the Fort is a mixed-use development in the heart of Bonifacio Global City. A total of 250 meters high. It is a leadership in energy and environmental design called Certified Green Development, committed to achieving and maintaining high standard of sustainable design. The development's location reflects a contemporary lifestyle comprising a colorful eclectic matrix of state-of-the-art office buildings, high-rise residences, upmarket retail brands, activity areas, and expansive green spaces. Within easy reach are the international airport, international schools, embassies, a world-class medical facility, the Manila Golf Club, and the Manila Polo Club. I would like to give an example of mixed-use building in our area. So the first one is the Genis Building, the second one is the Niños Building. They are both located in Francisco Homes 1 Village in city of San Jose del Monte, Bulacan. They function as residential, commercial, or restaurant, retails, and apartments to be specific.
Conclusion. Mixed-use developments are the future of home ownership in the Philippines. These developments are perfect for people who want to be able to afford their own place without moving too far from their workplace and without giving the leisure and convenience offered by the city. The advantage of mixed-use development is that they give residents the opportunity to live in an upscale community where they can sit back and enjoy watching their property investment quickly grow in value.
So let's start to answer what is modular construction. Greater focus on sustainability in recent years has led architects and builders to put the environment in focus with their creations. Many consumers now consider green features to be a critical part of a new construction, leading to innovation in terms of materials, appliances, window treatments, and more. Still, a critical problem remains, namely that construction itself is extraordinarily damaging the environment, leading to a massive waste and emissions. In fact, the United Nations Environment Program learned that construction accounts for 36% of global energy usage and 39% of global energy-related carbon emissions. All of this is problematic, especially in the growing housing crisis around the world. We need to find sustainable building methods that will meet demands for safe and affordable housing while also tending to an environment that is increasingly damaged by our actions. This will introduce the modular construction, an alternative building technique, offers a remedy to many of the concerns surrounding traditional construction. Though no current solution is perfect, modular construction presents a step in the right direction toward a more sustainable building process. Now, how does modular construction work? Traditionally, buildings are constructed on site, right? In other words, contractors construct the building where it is going to end up. This certainly makes sense because we obviously want to place a building in the spot where it belongs. That said, new building techniques enable contractors to manufacture buildings off-site and assemble them later, which has distinct environmental advantages that will become clear in a moment. First, though it is helpful to understand the entire process of modular construction, using an assembly line process, factory workers construct a modular building in pieces or modules, so they can work on many parts of a building at the same time. The modules are created in such a way that they can easily be assembled later, like building blocks or Lego. During their time in the factory, modules are built completely. Walls, floors, roofs, insulation, and windows are all added. Often fixtures and finishes are also added during the factory process, such that a modular building is essentially complete before it leaves the factory. Once all the modules for a building are completed, they are transported to the job site, where they are assembled by a crew of workers using cranes. As pieces are added to the building blocks, construction workers lock the modules together. Meanwhile, plumbers and electricians work through at the building to hook up pipes and wires that were already installed in the factory. With this method, large structures can be erected in a relatively short period of time by small crews of workers. Though it may seem that modular construction is just a new or modern way of building, it has a unique characteristics that make it more sustainable. Because modular construction is better for the environment. Though modular construction is responsible for beautiful and affordable buildings around the world, its true power lies in its ability to tackle some of the most difficult construction tasks in a more sustainable way. One of the most pernicious side effects of traditional construction is large amounts of debris. Annually, the construction industry generates a staggering 56 million tons of waste from worldwide construction. That's so huge, which has a detrimental effect on the environment. Since modular construction happens in a factory, several projects are built concurrently. Therefore, rather than materials being wasted or discarded, many can be reused on different projects at the same factory. Another advantage of modular construction involves its efficient timelines. While shorter timelines are beneficial from a cost standpoint, they also have downstream effects on the environment. Since modular buildings are completed twice as fast on average, they have much lower energy expenditures overall and a lower impact on the area immediately surrounding the construction site. Lower energy expenditures lead to reduce the dependence of dirty energy, helping propel countries more quickly toward renewables. The reason that modular buildings can be completed twice as fast is not a magic. Unlike traditional construction, which cannot start until a building site is prepared, modular construction happens in the factory at the same time the building site is preparing. Now, common materials used in modular construction. First example is wood. People has been using wood for construction for, over 10,000 years ago. It is one of the most versatile materials in the world, commonly used for home framing. A skilled craftsperson can take a piece of seasoned wood and turn it into anything from framework to a fence or a piece of furniture. When it comes to long-term applications, wood is incredibly durable. Even without modern drying and hardening techniques, there are wood frame structures that have lasted for thousands of years. Second example is steel. Modern construction, particularly involving large structures or skyscrapers, revolves around steel. The massive structures in the cities around the world simply wouldn't be possible with a wood or concrete frame. Steel can be more difficult to work with than the wood because of its weight and rigidity, but in a manufacturing environment, steel can be incredibly versatile, shaped into nearly any form imaginable or necessary for a particular modular project. Steel is also durable and fire resistant, enabling construction companies to create longer, stronger, and safer buildings. If weight is not a factor, steel frame modular buildings can be easier to assemble than their wood frames counterparts. Steel is also infinitely recyclable and more sustainable than virgin steel. Last The third materials used is concrete and cement. Concrete is typically associated with foundations, but it has also become a valuable tool in modular construction. Steel-reinforced concrete or cement sections can be manufactured dry and cured in a factory setting where everything from the temperature to the ambient humidity is closely controlled to ensure an optimal outcome. There is no need to worry about a suddenly rainy day or cold snap ruining the concrete or preventing it from drying properly. It also makes the process of setting up vertical concrete walls a lot simpler because there's no need to create a mold or framework with modular construction. All the crew has to do is put the pieces together on site. Concrete might not be the only material used in a modular structure, but it is a popular choice for the core of a building because it is sturdy and strong enough to provide at least some support to the rest of the building.
Before delving into the extraordinary world of modular architecture, we need to set it apart from prefabrication architecture, a point that many in the industry still have questions about. Modular architecture represents the next stage in prefab architecture. The latter uses single pieces that are prefabricated in the workshop and then required on-site assembly, like traditional construction. Modular architecture, meanwhile, involves installation and assembly in the workshop, with buildings arriving fully formed to their final plot, which also means its environmental impact is considerably lower. Modular architecture is both quick and technological, meaning it reduces time frames and costs, whilst optimizing resources. Moreover, in most cases, there are no limits on styles or size, as long as compliance with all regulations and codes is assured from the very beginning of the design process to the final interior designs. This is why it has started to become one of the most acclaimed aspects in architecture according to the experts. High quality results can be achieved that fully comply with energy efficient standards. In addition, as the construction process generates hardly any waste in comparison to traditional approach, it has much lower environmental impact. The building process itself is the great challenge in all architecture projects. Delays are more common than one would like and come down to a variety of factors such as planning, human resources, bureaucracy, or etc. And they can lead to even more costly consequences such as casting the project in a negative light. Modular architecture offers a way to cut down on the entire process, all whilst maintaining quality and increasing sustainability. According to the forecast from the Modular Building Institute, modular architecture could cut building time by 50% compared to conventional methods. Moreover, it states that despite being a process where a building is constructed off-site, it will always be designed to the same codes and standards as traditional constructions. One of the reasons is the lower waste produced during construction. As modular projects are all built in the factory, all waste can be recycled and they are real control over it. Another positive aspect to this type of construction is reuse. In most cases, modules can be relocated or renovated, thus cutting out any energy or resources that would be required to build new elements. Top projects: modular houses built with sustainable materials. Wood and steels are just some of the sustainable materials preferred by the modular architecture. Prefabricated wooden homes are lighter and can use recycled or sustainably grown timber with FSC certification. They are also ideal in terms of heat insulation, meaning energy waste is considerably lower. Wood was chosen by the architects Tom and Daniel Raphael to create their modular home in Cornwall, in United Kingdom, where they say they feel a true connection to nature. One of its standout features is the use of curved wood. Another outstanding example of sustainable modular home is the Casa Vita, a queen designed by the architect Iñaki Aspiazu Isa. This housing project represents bioclimatic architecture where energy use is 10 times lower than in conventional buildings. Steel is another common material in sustainable modular homes. It is 100% recyclable and helps cut down on energy use. One of the best examples of modular designs features steel as the main element in the hotel VIP shelter. Wood and steel in the same project. One of the most outstanding projects in modular architecture is Mountain Refuge in Asturias, as was designed by Estudio Baragaño, the practice run by Sergio Baragaño. The building is made from galvanized steel and cladded in wood and slate. It is also fully integrated into the marvelous natural setting. Also, we have example here in the Philippines, the Kubo Modular. Kubo Modular creates unique designs, bamboo house kits. They are making sustainable, inexpensive, and dignified houses available to everyone. Kubo Modular goal is provide every Filipino with dignified and accessible. In addition, prefabricated architecture focuses its most striking aspects on building exteriors, although the construction process with connected modules means the design can offer large, spacious interiors. Modular homes can also be equipped with the same materials used in conventional homes.
When community amenities such as sport and recreation facilities are all located near to homes and each other, and ideally within walking distance, it enhances opportunities for physical activity, well-being, sports participation, community interaction, and social cohesion. Communal amenities means, in relation to dwellings, provided for the purpose specified in areas, structures, works, and services that are or are intended to be common to such dwellings and used for the common benefit or enjoyment of tenants of those dwellings. Communal amenities means a laundry area, swimming pool, park area, gymnasium, kids play area, and community center.
Amenities are different from facilities. Based on the dictionary's definition, these are for making people comfortable. Technically, it gives pleasure to people while they are living their life. It is different from facilities because amenities provide the light, while facilities are for a particular purpose. That gives us the idea that amenities in communal buildings are to make life pleasant and comfortable and also satisfy the users. In simple terms, users will gain satisfaction through the benefits of amenities.
Amenities enhances quality of life. The provision of shared amenities such as pools, gymnasiums, play areas, and open communal zones supports the health and well-being of residents by providing a range of recreational and social opportunities. As a result, the ease of living a balanced lifestyle becomes enhanced. The apartment landscape is increasingly calling for spaces that transcend functional necessities and address the human requirements of occupants. Spaces that cater to emotional needs are essential for enhancing quality of life and have the potential to aid health across a myriad of spectrum, including physical, emotional, and mental health.
With that, amenities provide an exceptional living experience. People will always look for a comfortable place to live in. Through the help of amenities, having what people long for is possible. On the other hand, the owner of where these amenities are will also benefit. They make the properties more desirable.
It develops a sense of community. High-density developments offer an outlet for residents to build positive interactions and connections with their neighborhood community. This is further facilitated when innovated communal areas are intelligently incorporated and easily accessible within the construction of a project. Essentially, an apartment complex flourishes when it creates a sense of community for its population. Facilities that enable communication and familiarity between residents additionally improve a sense of security and safety.
It also leverages apartment living over houses. When they offer inbuilt amenities, a home's dimensions may lessen, but on the other hand, one's lifestyle will amplify. Inclusion of amenities can enhance an individual lifestyle, making them more comfortable, mentally stable, and such. Here are some examples of these amenities. Pool area. We all know a good swimming pool adds value to the property, especially when the climate's temperature is high. It is a bathing area where people can relax, release stress, and have fun with someone or by themselves. Next, dog parks. A man's best friends also need a place where they can goof around. Having dog parks will also attract fur parents. It releases their burden in life, even for a short period of time. They can play, hang out, or just simply be with their pets. Next, study room. These are rooms where students, even workers, can sit down, read their books, do their tasks, and continue their academic or professional life. It can give them peace away from noise that will help them focus with and also their responsibilities in school or work.
Gym or fitness facility. A modern-day gymnasium, as gym used to be called way back in ancient Greece, is a place for indoor physical workout where various equipment and machines are typically used. For some people, a typical gym is a place where you focus on weightlifting and similar activities. Community center. Community area or center is where the tenants of a specific building can meet for social, educational, or recreational activities. Kids play area. A playground, play park, or play area is a place designed to provide an environment for children that facilitates play, typically outdoors. While a playground is usually designed for children, some are designed for other age groups or people with disabilities. A playground might exclude children below a certain age. My insights about integrated amenities in communal buildings has long since offered variety. Yet even seasoned renters may find themselves amazed at the range of new amenities that are quickly becoming the local norm. Many rental buildings we're seeing these days boast thoughtful features like innovative common areas, communal garden settings, and in-building services. These shared amenities create vibrant and collaborative environments in which residents can enjoy a real sense of community.
In summary, having the chance to experience several kinds of amenities will benefit the users. It gives them the pleasure they might need after a long tiring at work or school, or maybe in life in general. However, users are not the only ones who will benefit from this. Even the whole structure itself will benefit from them, because amenities, again, it will add value. They surely make the building more desirable to people.
Based on Presidential Decree Number 1096 to 1977 National Building Code of the Philippines and its 2004 revised implementing rules and regulations, the following are the rules for parking area requirements and setback for medium-density residential commercial facilities. Number 1. Front setback of a R1 dwelling must be 4.5 meters deep and the two side setback and the rear setbacks shall be at 2 meter deep each. The setback which applies to the ground level of the building is measured from the property line to the exterior face of the building wall. There shall be full yard on each sides of the residential dwellings. The farthest point of the roof from two sides and rear property line shall be at 0.75 meters from the property line. Number 3. The building footprint shall be from 60 to 70% of the total area depending on the lot type or configuration. The floor to the lot area ratio shall be at 1.5 meter. That is for a lot with an area of 300 square meter. The gross floor area shall be at 450 square meters for the 3-story dwelling. The total ground floor area shall be at 675 square meter, that is including the deck roof level, carport, and utility areas. Lastly, there must be no firewall along of the property lines for R1 lot. Duplexes and single attached dwelling are prohibited for an R1 lot.
Also, the building height limit or BHL is 10 meter measured from the established grade elevation, that is as the architect where the applicable EGE is. Note, however, that the 10-meter BHL is intended for 3-level residences with a deck roof level that is required a 1-meter tall parapet wall or railing. That is for dwellings with a regular roof instead of a deck roof level. The applicable BHL is only 9 meters. Based on Article 670 of Republic Act No. 386, the 1949 New Civil Code of the Philippines or NCCP, the easement for the second and any other upper floor shall be 2 meters from the property line. The easement or different from the setback is measured from the property line to the center of the building's exterior wall. As the setback under the NBCP is wider by about 0.10 meters, the setback at the ground floor should also apply to all upper floors. Balconies or cantilevered floors with fixed or operable windows are not allowed to intrude into the airspace above either the easement or setback area.
In addition to this part of topic, for buildings of more than 2 stories in height, the minimum width of the rear or side court shall be increased at the rate of 300 millimeters or 0.3 meters for each additional stories up to the 14th story. For buildings exceeding 14 stories in height, the required width of the court shall be computed based on the width of the 14 stories. The uncovered driveways, access roads, and parking spaces may be considered part of the open space if they are open and unobstructed from the ground upward, as in courts and yards. A carport shall not be considered part of the total open space within lot, particularly if it's entirely roofed or roofed with overhangs. In such a case, it must be counted as an integral component of the allowable maximum building footprint or AMBF. For a front yard, it may be partly paved to serve as a carport, but only for basic R2 or basic R3 or R4 use for occupancy. That is all for single-family dwelling units only. And all other uses or occupancies shall not be allowed to use the front yard for a carport nor for parking. For basic R3, abutments on 2 sides and rear property lines may be allowed provided the following requirements are first complied with. First, open space as prescribed in reference table for maximum PSO, TOSL, and table 8.2 of this rule are satisfied. Second, window opening as prescribed in section 808 of this rule are satisfied. And third, firewall with a minimum of 2R fire resistive rating constructed with a minimum height clearance of 400 millimeters or 0.4 meters above of the roof. For the setback requirements along the main road, contiguous projects or projects to be developed by phases shall be provided with interconnecting roads with a minimum right-of-way of 10 meters. The alley, it shall have a width of 10 meters intended to break a block and to serve both pedestrian and for emergency purposes, both ends connecting to the streets. It shall not be used as an access to the property. And padlocks, it shall have a width of 3 meters intended only to provide pedestrian access to the property for socialized housing projects. It shall have a maximum length of 60 meters.
Community amenities mean certain real property and any improvements that may be constructed thereon, if any situated within the boundaries of the community and intended for recreational and related purposes on use fee or otherwise. Community amenities means any combination of interior and exterior spaces created to provide for both active and passive recreational or social activities for the residents and their guests. Sample of amenities include but are not limited to pools, spas, tot lot, outdoors, exercise equipment, court, barbecues, games booths, outdoor sitting areas, workout rooms, clubhouse, and meeting room. In adopting a national building code of the Philippines, thereby revising Republic Act No. 6541, whereas the country's accelerating economic and physical development coupled with urbanization and population growth makes imperative the formulation and adaptation of a uniform building code which should embody up-to-date and modern technical knowledge on building design, construction, use, occupancy, and maintenance. In formulation of a new national building code, it is desired and the policy of the government to avail of the harness and technical expertise and professional know-how to men not only in public but in private sector as well. In conclusion of modular construction, it refers to a process which building components are constructed off-site. These components are then transported as a completed component to building site. The Modular Construction Institution reported that modular construction allowed projects to be completed in half time of conventional construction, with the conclusion that the modular construction eliminated weather delays because of 60 to 90% of construction work was achieved inside the factory.